Oh, this is government. Okay.
I think if it was something else, you can compare. I was supposed to be the one who compared.
If that is your understanding, then I'm sorry. This is government.
Because it is not government.
Listen,
If it was not government, if there is something which was losing, we're not only government. Yes.
so now that is government.
Now that is government.
I'm here doing government work.
Don't sing our songs.
I'm here doing government work.
And don't sing our songs.
So I must do government work. And this is the Malaysian.
Otherwise, I
I must leave this in the Malaysian. Where's Papa? Right. We understand the disappointment of Saturday, but let's focus. And do government work. Majority of you were disappointed. It's not you alone. I know 7 people from that side that were very disappointed on Saturday. It is soccer, don't take it to the heart. Good morning, colleagues, members of the portfolio committee and members of the Department of Social Development. I'm officially opening this meeting and welcome everyone present in this meeting. I understand that this is going to be a very, very simple and easy meeting. It's going to be very simple and easy. And I hope we want to be here the whole day because it's going to be a very simple and easy meeting, Mr. Mponyana. It's going to be very easy and simple. So we hope that by lunch will be done. Roll call and apologies, or let me deal with introductions first. We might not take it for granted that we know each other. Others might know each other. I know Honorable Fulufelo Florence Radzilani, but in this meeting I'm not going to take it for granted that I know. I'm going to introduce myself. We'll start here up until we're done with the last person, which will be the cameraman. And I'm made aware that this meeting is live on all legislature and social media platforms. The last time I checked, the first session we were at 492 views. So now that we are with the department, it might have increased. My name is Simon Mate. I am the chairperson of this portfolio committee representing African National Congress.
My name is Yvonne William of the African National Congress. I'm Christina Mohali representing African National Congress.
Good morning. I'm Rowan from the ranks of the ANC.
Evi Maholo, a member of the portfolio committee representing the economic freedom fighters.
Johnny Malawan from African National Congress, member of the
Okay. Alice?
Thank you, Chairperson, and good morning to honorable members and all the officials. My name is Professor Florence Ratilani, MEC for Social Development. Thanks.
Good morning, Chairperson and the members of the committee. My name is Martin Sehlapero. I'm the acting head of department for the Department of Social Development.
Good morning, Chairperson and members of the committee. My name is Dudu Slachipe, and I'm the Chief Director for Social Welfare Services in the department.
Good morning, Chairperson and members of the committee. I'm Matala Matube, the Chief Financial Officer for Social Development.
Morning, Chairperson and members. My name is Shalom Rodriguez, Executive Director of Development. Good morning, Chairperson and members. My name is Uban Chanya, Director of Development Actions.
Good morning, I'm Charles Choi, the Deputy Director of Planning Policy, Monitoring Information.
Good morning, I'm Godfrey Chimasune Kalambe from NGO Governance as the President's Unit.
Good morning, Madam Chair. My name is Makosi Siskao, Director of Financial Accounting. Good morning, Chair and members of the committee. My name is Mokala, responsible for the services.
Support staff, Mr. Tiafun.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair. My name is Nick Quata from Legal Services in the Legislature. Thanks.
Thanks, and good morning, honorable members and colleagues. My name is Justina Mahasha. I'm the committee coordinator for the Committee on Social Development.
Good morning, honorable members and colleagues. My name is Faith Mosutu, Committee Research.
Good morning, honorable members and colleagues. My name is Keza Tamara from the Legislature Committee Services.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Mala Mohammed from IT.
Media IT support.
Good morning, our MSC Communication Services.
Good morning, members of the colleagues. My name is Ellen Lowe from Committees.
Support staff from the department.
Good morning, Chair. Honorable members, my name is Madeleine Chikorova, Executive Director in the Office of Agency, Social Development.
Good morning, Honorable Chair, members. My name is Owen Mode, Head of Office in the Office of Police.
Good morning, Chair and members. My name is Joshua Kwata. I'm the Media Liaison Officer for the Department of Social Development.
Good morning, Chair. My name is Chakawala from the Parliamentary Office.
Political support staff from political parties.
Sorry, the Nigerian Transition Center, the Center for the Electoral Commission.
Good morning, Chair and members. I'm Silani Kumani, Director of Supply Chain in the Department of Social Development.
Well, your introduction was overtaken by events. It's fine.
Morning, Kawasibali Communication Services, Limpopo Legislature.
Sorry, good morning. My name is Mamone as a ANC station, responsible for social development.
Good morning, my name is Susan Manuel from the University Resources.
I would assume that everybody has introduced himself or herself. And let us also, as a committee, policy, make a special welcome to the acting HOD. We understand that this will be his first interaction with the committee since his appointment, whatever you call it, appointment, secondment, deployment, whatever you call it. Acting HOD, you are mostly welcome. And we hope that your contribution in the department will add. So the next item is roll call, which we believe that it is circulating. All members present in this meeting would be afforded an opportunity to append their signatures. The next issue is apologies committee services committee. If we have apologies, I know from our side we have an apology from Honorable Marks who joined the meeting after 40 minutes due to other commitments. We also have an apology from Honorable Rogers Munama due to family bereavement, and those are the recorded and accepted apologies from our side. Continue to be received from your side. Can we establish if there is any apology?
Thank you, Honorable Chair. No apology was brought to my attention unless submission was made to the acting HOD.
Thanks, Chairperson. The acting chief director for corporate services is in the meeting with the DG on the performance assessment for the administration for the first half.
Honorable Shahid, do you confirm the agenda?
Thank you very much.
Agenda has been moved. Any second man? Honorable Mahali. Seconded, but that agenda is concerned to amendments that we will not deal with item 4.12 and 4.13. Those items will not be dealt with today. We will find time, be it virtual or physical, when we will deal with them. For today only, we're going to deal with 4.1. And of course, there are recommendations that we are going to make as a portfolio committee, which for you it will just be a matter of information, but we will process those recommendations in our own legislature processes. Can we be briefed by the Department of Social Development on that report only?
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair, and once more, good morning to yourself, honorable members, the acting HOD, and other members of the management of social development, all the support staff. Honorable Chair, let me concur with you, especially in your welcoming remarks, when you indicated that you are anticipating that this meeting will not go beyond lunch time, particularly because of the work that we have done as the department. We are also more than ready on our side to brief the portfolio committee members on the annual performance report of the department. We also welcome your submission, though we were more than ready. I'm sure you might have checked the quality of the report that we have submitted to yourself. We were more than ready to also present the two items that you are saying you are deferring them. And we welcome that a submission, the decision of the portfolio committee that the two items will not be dealt with today. You will still convene us to come and account. So I'm going to request the acting HOD to take us through the report, which is the 2023-2024 annual performance report. Over to you, through you, Chair. If you permit, I will then hand over to the acting HOD to take us through that report. Acting HOD.
Thank you, MEC, and thank you to the chairperson. Based on the agenda item, can we please go to slide number 8, which will then start with the annual performance report of the Department of Social Development. That slide talks to the 42 output indicators for the department per program, and it indicates that for program 1, there were 4 indicators, and the department has achieved 2 and has not achieved 2 of those specific indicators. I will then later deal with the items that were not achieved in the next slides. In terms of social welfare services, there were 8 targets, 5 were achieved and 3 were not achieved. The numbers in brackets convert those numbers that we have provided there into a percentage. In terms of program 3, that deals with children and families, 8 of the targets were achieved and 3 were not achieved. And in terms of program 4, that relates to restorative services, 4 were achieved and 4 were not achieved. And in program 5, development and research, 10 were achieved and 1 was not achieved. It is important for the committee to note that in terms of the annual report of the department has entered into a process to raise with the Auditor General, on the next slide, with the Auditor General, some of the matters that emanate from that their report. And based on that dispute that the department is processing through the Auditor General, the department has since requested the legislature to withdraw the annual report, and at this stage we have exhausted the engagement with the provincial office of the Auditor General, and the current engagement is with the head of portfolio, where we have submitted all our objections. I would like to humbly request an apology for the typo there on the last bullet, which talks about a court ruling. There is no such ruling. The ruling will be the ruling from the head of portfolio within the office of the Auditor General. When we then, the dispute does not implicate the performance information. It deals with the accounting information with regards to the CCCs, the community centers that were transferred by the National Department of Social Development that were not properly accounted for. So the information in relation to the strategies to deal with underperformance is still valid, and we then want to then deal with those specific issues. On slide number 10, the targets that were not achieved firstly deals with the percentage of women in single.
we believe that let us leave all these things, right? And focus on the disputed areas of the report. Let us leave all this stuff. In actual fact, we were hoping that we would get there. And you did that quickly. About this dispute with AG and National Department and the withdrawal of the report and all those things. So in actual fact, hence I was saying that this is going to be a very, very simple meeting. We are only going to focus ourselves on those areas only. Right? Now we know, like you said, the issue of dispute is not in relation to the performance of the department, but it's in relation to the accountability of assets, right? There are 3 things or 4 things here. Right, the issue of awaiting the court ruling has been clarified. And it was our stance and view as the portfolio committee MEC that from where we are seated, there is no court case because the AG did not receive any documents. And if there is a court case, it was going to be our recommendation that, because surely there is no way you are going to win it, the person who commissioned the founding affidavits, notice of motions, supplementary affidavits, everything, upon the department losing that case, that person must be personally liable for the costs. But now that it's clarified, that stance is no longer existing. Secondly, we received a briefing from the AG. And all these things that the department is doing now have already overtaken by the events. For an example, the report is tabled in the House, adopted by the House, and I stand up to second the adoption. Personally, I stood up to second the adoption of it. The Speaker refers the report back to the Portfolio Committee. The Portfolio Committee with the department interact with that report, and it goes back to the legislature for debates, and it becomes the resolution of the House. Now, when the AG issues out findings, because the qualification in terms of the AG opinion, the qualification is informed by this issue of assets, wherein you are then HOD, signed the acceptance as an accounting authority, signed an acceptance of the transfer. Signed the acceptance of the transfer of the assets. But when you go for audit, those assets are not disclosed in your AFS. And when you are given, there is a window period of a month or 2 for adjustment of any other thing that might have not been disclosed in the AFS. You still say, no, I'm not taking responsibility for this, therefore it cannot be in my annual financial statement. And remember, when the HOD signs the acceptance of the transfer, he's not acting in his personal capacity. He's acting representing the department. Right? So you did not disclose those things in the financials, hence the qualification. But then, remember for the legislature to withdraw the report that has already been adopted, it will require the recommendation of this committee. whether it must accede to the, hence there is no response to this date. Because we must then go and recommend that we are not acceding to the request, and we are not going to do so. Precisely because these things comes before the AG releases the audit outcomes. There was a cooperation between the department and the AG. Even before the outcomes can be made public, the department was briefed even about the audit outcomes, and there was no problem. But from where we sit, we know what informs that dispute. It is not the issue, at the face value, yes, it is the issue of assets, at the face value. But we know exactly why that thing is disputed, so that certain things can be delayed. And that we will do it in our political briefing with the MEC. Hopefully with your good self. With your good self. To say, in actual fact, the dispute is not about assets. Because remember, once we agree that the report be withdrawn, previous recommendations that were made by this committee and ultimately became the resolutions of the legislature also falls off. They will no longer have what we call a lucus standi. And that is our problem. So let me see from where was it at? But we will politically brief you. At the face value is assets. Now you cannot have a department refusing, after accepting the assets, 2 months down the line, refuses the assets from a national department, as if all those assets are no longer necessary. But we have observed and noted the strategy around this thing. And it is unfortunate that we will not make it public. Hence, we are saying that we will politically brief yourself and the HOD as to what exactly is the matter. And we cannot here ask about the rationale of your office in signing the letter to request the withdrawal. We cannot do it here. And we don't want to take it for granted that you were misguided and misled in signing that particular letter. 2, you see, colleagues, we need to take each other serious. Part of the things which the department should have done before even writing to the legislature, because before you account to the legislature, you account to this committee, for this committee. We were never taken into confidence as a committee. We are just surprised and shocked to see a letter yesterday, and we're supposed to have met with the department last week, and the department requested a postponement on the basis that the president would be here, and we granted that postponement. Now, if there was that letter, this meeting would have not been necessary. That's why I said we are going to have a very, very short meeting. Because we cannot sit in a meeting and debate things that are disputed somewhere. It won't serve any purpose. And we're just saying, remember AG is also a Chapter 9 institution. Once you dispute, you are also saying to us that you are disputing the integrity of the, in actual fact, you are questioning the integrity of the AG. But you want to dispute things that you have accepted and signed, that you are taking this transfer. The dispute now, apart from transfer, is in relation to the value of the properties. And it is not that you were not given an opportunity to make adjustments. That opportunity, you were given 2 months. But in all this time, you find it not necessary to dispute, but you only dispute after the prescribed process has been undertaken. So this committee met. One, we agreed that we are not going to accede to your request for withdrawal of the report. That report will stand. That is the recommendation that we are going to make to the House, because it was debated there, tabled there, and adopted there without no objections and any other addition or reservation. We have looked into the law. The only time a department took the AG to court was in 1997 in the Western Cape, no, 2000 and something, in the Western Cape, and we know why, by virtue of the Western Cape. No any other department has taken the AG to court. And when the report is done, HOD, when the AG is done with the report, before it can even be brought back to you, there are certain internal processes within the office of the AG. That means your quality assurance, verification of the opinion and everything. So here we're dealing with the dispute, but from where we're seated, at the face value, the dispute is about assets, but that is face value. But we know why. Let me see. We know, and it is fortunate that we have a mother and son relationship. And there's no way that I will and other of my colleagues, we will fold our arms when you are made to do wrong things. When the truth is not being told to you. I can be brave enough and tell this meeting why this dispute. But members said no, we must brief the HOD and the MEC. This dispute, it has, this one thing smoking, yeah, this thing of asset is smoking. My opposite those things. What are we disputing? But it's a smoke screen. Remember, we took some unpopular decisions as the legislature pertaining to this department. So I would not think that it's going to be necessary for us to proceed with this meeting, because now we'll be discussing the report that is under dispute. And that will be prejudicing the department. Because we have a view. We were briefed, and unfortunately, you know, we always say, us being here doesn't mean that we are not scholars. We are from different academic backgrounds. So some of these things we understand them more than people that have written them. I cannot sit with a report from the AG and not be able to understand it when I'm a registered auditor. There is no way. It is not possible. So let us come back. We don't think that we'll proceed with this meeting. Because we are sitting with a letter here that is directed to Mr. Wood, who was the acting Secretary of Legislature. And that letter was written on the 3rd of October.
Yes.
It was written on the 3rd of October. It was only brought to our attention yesterday. Only yesterday. And our understanding was that logically, if the department had issues, logically, a meeting would have convened between ourselves. That's why we even postponed even the study group meeting. Because we felt that we would have met as a committee and the department, and we'd be taken into confidence and work collectively towards resolving this situation. But we're just, you see, there was a comment made that it's like the department is trying to bully us. Because everything that they want, they get. And it cannot be in that way, colleagues. Proceeding with this meeting is going to be futile because whatever that we're going to say for an example, I know AG has about 3 dispute resolution mechanism processes. It's 1, 2 in the provincial and 1 national. And if they are sitting with memorandum of agreement, acceptance with the signature of the HOD, if you came back and say, no, the veil is this, you are disputing the veil. You are disputing the transfer. You are saying the veil of these buildings is 33 million, you are saying, no, it's less. Without even scientifically quantifying that. But what does it mean? What is the impact of the withdrawal of the report? It has very serious legal implications. Very serious. And these things happens after we've followed all the prescribed processes. So us going forward discussing, it will just be taking oxygen out of our mouth. So if the ruling comes out, we are happy that this thing of court is not there. Because we're also going to request a case number and verify if that is that. But if the ruling becomes otherwise, what is it that we have discussed? If the ruling is in your favor, it means everything that we have done, we must start from the scratch. We must go back to the legislature and table the report. I must stand up with my disabilities. And second, we come here for a meeting, we debate, we go back to the legislature, we must go and debate, and they'll say, Chairperson, the final debate. I debate, and then we close. That would be next year. And legally it will mean that you would have not complied with us now for that year, because these things are not prescribed. When must the annual report be submitted? So it will mean that for that financial year, you did not account. That is the implication. Remember, unqualified audit and qualified is fine. You see, unless if the track record was that of clean audit throughout, clean, now suddenly you've got qualified. Well, you will be shocked and you want to dispute. So this is where we are in this. For an example, the law says, in terms of the Public Audit Act, you can only dispute the audit outcome if it contradicts rule of law, not administrative processes. Only if it contradicts rule of law. And in this regard, there is no contradiction of the rule of law. So we're asking ourselves on what legal basis, which section of the PFMA, apart from the rules of the legislature, because the rules of the legislature cannot supersede an act of government. The rules of this thing cannot. So we're just saying, we find it very unnecessary to proceed with this meeting when the report, when you are seeking to withdraw the report, when you have disputed because now the opinion, it is also informed by the report. When you are seeking to dispute same. So what will be our basis of continuing with this meeting? Any other addition, if there is any? I think that was your mandate, not my mandate. I'm caught between the rock and a hard surface. Yes, I'm caught in between. Do I do my work or do I cuddle with my friends? So let me do my work for once in 5 years. That is where we are, unless if there is something for
Yeah, thank you very much, Honorable Chair. I welcome the information that you have just shared with us, and also the view that you will remain behind with myself and the acting HOD. But the matter that I want to bring to the meeting before we release all other officials is that this matter, it was no longer the issue of the department. Because the issue of me writing a letter, if I remember very well, the then acting HOD, Chief Director, and now Social Welfare Services, and the CFO, we were together in the meeting of the budget hearing with Treasury. That's where this matter emanated, because the issue of the transfer of asset, it was also processed by OTP now and provincial treasurer. It was no longer the issue of the department, but I don't want to go in detail or to provide information as if we want to open to say let's proceed. But I just felt I must also share this in the presence of colleagues from the department, that this matter, it was not the matter of the department per se, because even when I joined the department, when the matter was elevated to me, I had many questions about the accounting officer of the department, but only to find that this matter, the department was not aware. It's the matter that only that surfaced now when we were receiving the report. That's the information that was provided to me. But when you check with AG will also raise issues that the department was aware. So hence I'm saying, Chairperson, for me, I wanted to come to the issue of myself writing to the legislature that it was not the issue of the department. We got this when we were with Provincial Treasury for a budget hearing meeting at Bolivia Lodge. But nonetheless, I think we welcome the wisdom and guidance of the portfolio committee members. If there are some violation of legal prescript in the process of executing this task, I think we can't really violate our own legislations. But let me stop there, Chair, because the members of the portfolio committee seems to be having more information which might not be known to me. But I wanted to give that clarity to say this is the matter that was now with OTP, Provincial Treasurer. I think Dr. Slapelo, you were still in the office of the Premier. This matter is well known to you. And in our meeting with the members of the portfolio committee, you will be able to share enough information with regard to the matter. And we also want to apologize, Chair. We learn every day. Sometimes when we are assigned these responsibilities, we get too much excited that now I have this title of the MEC, and you end up in the process compromising some of the key responsibilities that must be respected. It was not deliberate. We learn every day, and it will not really repeat going forward. We respect this committee. We respect you as honorable members. I was saying this to the Standing Committee on Public Participation and Petition, that we don't have any intention to disrespect honorable members, because myself, before I became the MEC, I started by being the member of the legislature. And fortunate enough, I've been the member of committees quite for some time, so I can't really go to the level where honorable members are disrespected under my watch. But anyway, we welcome the decision of the committee that we are not, of the members of the committee that we are not proceeding. We will then remain behind so that amicably we are able to resolve this matter. He will be able to guide us as the department on how best can we move on. Thanks.
You see, thank you very much, MEC. Just 2-3 things so that we conclude. You see, that report, this report, particularly slide number, is it 8? Yeah, 9. Already it tells us that the report has been withdrawn. It doesn't tell us that there has been a request for the withdrawal of the report. See? It tells us that the report was withdrawn on the 4th of October. And for that report to be withdrawn, which was yesterday, and for that report to be withdrawn, it must be through our recommendation. But this report tells us, even though we have seen the letter of request yesterday from the department. The letter came from the department to the committee support, and then it came to us. And it tells us that no, the report has been. Imagine this thing, court ruling. Imagine it's in black and white. I would not understand whether this is a human error or it was an intimidative statement that when we see court and everything, we will be intimidated. But imagine if this report, that's why we have decided that we are going to recall it. Imagine as it is, and then it can leak to the public. Tomorrow you are on headlines that we have taken AGSA to court. Fortunately or unfortunately, we are going to recall this document, which effectively means nobody will leave this meeting except your good self and the HOD with this document. Because we don't know who's who, we might know who's who, but we don't know from here where it can go. Agri-propaganda is too much. Somebody here can just phone Mwagumala and say, China, Sunday we wake up, Joshua would be running up and down. No, there is no such, and it will be Sunday. And they might not find him on Saturday if his phone is off attending to other things. Oh, by the way, we're alive. You see? But we are going to recall this document so that it doesn't leave, nobody leave this meeting with it. Again, the second point, MEC, we have said in our first meeting with the department that for us to turn things around, for us to get the department where we want to get it, it will require a collective effort, which means us providing all the necessary and required support to the department to achieve its objectives. But when we start dealing with each other in an us and them thinking, it becomes a problem. Because from where we're seated, before the department can even think about writing or disputing. Remember, if you dispute the AG, imagine it was going to be very easy if both ourselves and yourselves were disputing AG. It was going to be very easy. Where we have weaknesses, we have legal service, they can sit down and use their legal brains to say, how do we get out of this? Where we have other things, I'm a trained auditor, qualified, I can sit and tell you, this is what we're going to do to get out of this place. So it requires collective. So for you to get where you want to be, it requires both of us working together. We are not a court of law, or we don't want to be a police station of some sort, but we want to be team members. We want to work with you so that you achieve your objectives, and we want to support the department so that it achieves its objectives. That is our role, but that in supporting you, it doesn't mean that we will not play effective oversight. But we want to, so that whatever challenges that are facing you, we are able to stand with you in one corner and be able to respond to those challenges. So effectively what we are saying is that the department should have taken us into confidence to say, we have observed 1, 2, 3, 4, we want to do 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we satisfy ourselves with the facts that you have presented, we are happy, and then we move that journey, we undertake that journey with you. But imagine that we wake up, yesterday in the afternoon we get a letter that the report, here it says the report has been withdrawn. The letters, it's a request for withdrawal. So you see those inconsistencies. And then I remember personally, I debated that report and other colleagues. So our last message is we don't want to be a watchdog, but we want to be a team player. We want to work with you. We want to support you. Look how nice and beautiful we did the public hearings. We gave our support to the department throughout. Whether meetings or public hearings were convened on Mondays, people were there. But if it's going to be us, we don't want departments, when you come before us, it is like you are going to be cross-examined. We want a situation where a meeting that is supposed to take 6 hours will take 40 minutes and go. Okay, this is the report, fine, 1, 2, 3, okay, done. Where we have differences, we have been briefed, we have been made aware. Then we move. But this thing of surprises is no good. So we hope that, and you see, this thing of people trying to be tactical, it cannot be good. Because if we are tactical, it means, again, we are not Kaizer Chiefs, we cannot be able to manage Muta well. Those ones were not able to manage those two, to contain those two, because the tactics were superior. So here, if colleagues are tactical, we'll manage those tactics. That's why we want to brief you on this. Because we have made political observations, and which I believe that we don't want the personality and character and integrity of people to be questioned. When people that are supposed to hold their hands, not in that manner, you understand? Hold their hands towards a particular objective are not doing that. You will make your own determination, whether from what was presented to us by the AG and what we have observed with what you think you understand, then you'll be able to make your own determination. Unfortunately, the meeting is adjourned. I'm not sure, even though we did not proceed up until comments and inputs and closure, I think lunch will still be available, courtesy of the portfolio committee. Yes. Lunch will still be available, because maybe through that lunch we can iron out 1, 2, 3, 4 over a spoon of rice. Thank you very much for coming, and God bless all of you. This is not going to be difficult. This just requires people working together, period. And this short notices, let me see, the correspondence that we get a correspondence today when the meeting is tomorrow. It's not okay. It's not okay. And some of these things, you know, if we received that letter sometime last week or whenever, this meeting was not necessary. We could have, over iPhone, resolved a lot of things. You have access to all of us. You have access to me. So some of these things can be resolved not through these things. So thank you very much for coming, and we will meet when we meet again, which we hope, and also our parting short HOD is that establish whether the resolution of the dispute would materially affect the audit opinion. Whether that dispute or not, in terms of what we have observed, there is no way you are going to move out of qualified. So strategically, I'm saying it is futile. You might as well withdraw that dispute, because there will be no unqualified. Even if they resolve the dispute and do it in your own way. Because you did not even dispute some of the things that you were necessarily have to dispute. So why would we sit with a dispute error, even if it's adjudicated in your favor? It will not change the audit opinion. The opinion will not change. We've seen there is a lot of something, certain things that did not go according to the way they should have gone. So continue with the dispute, you will not get qualified, you will not get clean. In actual fact, you might go back to disclaim. If they can get right people with all those things that they've presented as red flags, you can even downgrade from qualified to something else. But maybe in your own wisdom, you will check if there is a need to proceed with that dispute. But I would love that probably AG must come to a department and show you other things except the issue of buildings. Because it is not only that thing that contributed to that opinion. So it's your choice. But in any way, we are happy that you came, and thank you very much. Till we meet again, we will request the MEC to. But not everybody is going to be in that meeting. I know they are not mandated by the party that I belong to. Will excuse the meeting. I know they don't belong to the party where yes. Yeah, even staff and everybody. No bioscope in this meeting. You switch off the TV.